Welcome to Essential Keys for Peace and Joy. With me, Osiris Indriya. I am a minister at the Institute of Awakened Mastery. I'm an initiated guide, teacher, healer, and ritual master in the lineage of King Solomon. I'm a marketing lead at a software startup. I'm a DJ, music producer, artist, husband, and father. Those of you who have been with me before know that I love to start by defining terms. In the title, it says peace and joy. Let's make sure we're all on the same page about what these words mean, what we're after, what's the goal that we're trying to achieve today. So let's begin with peace. What is peace? I always go to one of the holiest books that I refer to, the Webster's Dictionary, for my definitions, at least as a place to start. So here is the beginning of the dictionary definition for peace. A state of tranquility or quiet. Part 1, freedom from civil disturbance or a state of security. Or B, order within a community provided for by law or custom. What I find really interesting about these definitions of peace is it's completely externalized. That in part A, there's a state of security or freedom from civil disturbance. It feels externalized, that security is coming from outside of me. It's not, I have achieved a safety within that brings me peace. It's that there is an externalized peace, that people get along. It's somehow being enforced through some state of security. And here it's saying maybe it's by law or custom. So that kind of says the inverse would be that people are unsafe due to external forces, or are unpeaceful, I guess. But safety definitely feels like there's a piece of that in here as well. So I'm going to offer an alternate definition. Awareness and acceptance of our inner being and our place in the world. Awareness of becoming aware of who I am within, accepting who I am within. That acceptance is a big part of peace for sure. And my place in the world. So acknowledging that there isn't only me, that I am a part of something larger, that there's a lot of other things, there's a lot of other people that exist, and that I have a place in this system. Let's try another one. The ultimate result of a healing journey toward wholeness. Peace is the ultimate result of a healing journey toward wholeness. So as we heal, as we embark on our healing journey, and it's a journey because it's not a magic wand is waved and I'm magically healed, that it's a process. It's a process, a continual process, because we live in a physical world where things go wrong, where we experience pain, we experience trauma. Not everything goes according to plan. And yet we're constantly developing, and we have an opportunity in all moments to heal things that may be broken within us, that may be distorted or poorly adjusted, in order to bring us back to a wholeness, a whole state of a single being, not fractured and fragmented, not playing many roles in many situations, but being a one single being, whole and complete in that journey of healing. And if accomplished, would result in peace. So that's the perspective we'll be coming from today. Then what is joy? The other big word for today. According to our holy book of the Webster's Dictionary, it's the emotion evoked by well-being, success, or good fortune, or by the prospect of possessing what one desires. Such an interesting way of phrasing it. The prospect. That's not even the acquisition itself, just the prospect of acquiring what one desires. So it's an emotion, first of all, according to this statement, evoked by well-being, success, and good fortune. So again, this is all externalized stimulus. Things, situations, circumstances allow me to experience the emotion of joy, including the circumstance of potentially possessing something I want. Okay, thank you, Webster's Dictionary. I'm going to again propose some alternate definitions. The experience of making progress toward our higher purpose. The experience of making progress toward a higher purpose, our higher purpose. So what this does is connect joy to who we are. So just as before we were talking about peace being about healing and wholeness, about awareness of self in our place in the universe, now it's the joy becomes the experience of accomplishing the purpose of that self that we've healed, the self that we are now aware of and how we fit into the world. And then we do something. So it's not enough to be passive and just become aware, that our goal is to become aware so we can then blank, whatever that purpose is. And it's unique and different for each of us. But we know we're doing it when we start to experience joy, which is different from happiness. Wonderful teachers in our tradition have often talked about the difference between happiness and joy is happiness is being conditional. It's those outside things, like somebody cooks you your favorite meal that can make you happy, and then the meal is gone, or maybe it wasn't seasoned quite right. So there's always something that can lead it astray. The circumstances change and suddenly we're not happy anymore. Whereas joy is the only condition that joy is dependent on is our awareness of self and our ability to accomplish purpose. The joy often comes when we sacrifice what is comfortable for what is right. That's a big one. It's very rare that any of us accomplish a higher purpose within our comfort zone by staying comfortable, by doing what is easy, familiar, and what we've repeated many times before. That is typically not where joy lies. Joy lies when we get outside of our comfort zone, when we sacrifice, and that word means to make sacred, when we transform the normal into something new. We free up that energy, get outside of our comfort zone, and move towards what is right for us, to act as that whole and healed being. There's an alternate elevated definition. Evidence that I am living the life that I am meant to be living. We're going to talk more about this. Evidence that I am living the life I am meant to be living. Whose life am I living if I'm not living my own? Maybe I'm living the expectations of others. Maybe I'm living in a system of government or school, education, job, belief systems, church, whatever it is. There's some external pattern for me that says, this is the life that you should be living. And is that my life really? Or is that someone else's design for me? Or am I living the life that I am meant to be living? Am I being true to me, being myself to its fullness, achieving purpose again? Joy arrives despite the conditions we are experiencing, not because of them. In many cases, in my personal experience, joy comes when I am tired, when I'm spent, when I have just released something I was really attached to that felt necessary for my peace and joy, and it turned out it was actually holding me back. and releasing that when the conditions seem to be counter to what would bring me happiness. So it's not the conditions are just right for me to feel joy. It's often quite the opposite. That joy comes even despite our discomfort. It's a reward hard fought as opposed to something easily and passively experienced, if I could summarize. So why don't I experience more peace and joy? In some of my other presentations, I've described this same process a number of different ways. I'm going to take a much different approach today and talk about it strictly from the internal point of view. Most of us live through life bombarded by external stimulus, external expectations that we internalize, which distorts our concept of who we are and what we're capable of, and leads us to play a role in the world that we are not well suited for, that pleases people around us and leaves us unfulfilled. Let's get away from this picture. It's a little bit darker than we need to be, right? So let's let that go. Let's imagine for a moment that we could wipe all that clean, that we could purge our mind of all these things and just allow it to be empty for a minute. All those expectations, all those desires, everything that's been put upon us, these roles, beliefs, we can just let them all go and just be. If we sit with ourselves and we can just be for a moment, we can imagine that our internal world is like a temple. And imagine in the center of this temple is an altar. Let's call this your Holy of Holies, or the most sacred place in the core of your being. This is the house of your higher self, the true version of you. If this is not a place that you routinely come to, it might feel unfamiliar. It might feel weird to be here. And often, what we've done in life makes us feel like we shouldn't even have a place like this within us because we're not good enough. We haven't fulfilled expectations. We've fallen short. We've made mistakes. Why would there be a temple to me inside of me? Well, that feeling is very common, but let's just a moment or imagine again. We let all of that go. So this temple is empty right now. Or is it? Who is here? Who exists in this temple? If I take all of that external stuff away, who remains? Where are you? Are you here? Have you given yourself permission to be within yourself? Or are we too busy chasing the next thing that needs to be done? Or do we get to exist here within ourselves? Do we get to just exist? Is existing enough sometimes? I mean, we do have to get stuff done. I would say just existing is not enough for a thriving life. But do we ever take the moment to exist within ourselves in this temple of self? And where is God? And if God is not a word you're comfortable with, you can talk about spirit, divine, energy, universe, nature. Where is the source of where we come from? Is it here in this temple? Should that be what's on the altar? And I'm going to say something a little controversial here. That God is typically not on this altar. Neither are we, neither is anything else. What we do is we place all of the expectations that others have laid on us on this altar. And this is the fundamental distortion that takes away all of our peace and joy. That in this amazing holy place within us, we have placed on the altar things that others have told us that we should be or we are. Or the negotiated outcomes of interfacing with a world that isn't ready for us, that it doesn't have everything all set for us to thrive and shine. And rather than fight for our space in the world to thrive and shine, we negotiate with that outer world something that we're willing to endure, a shape that we force ourselves to take. And I'm going to call this, for this conversation, the shadow self, the version of us that we acquired from other people's perceptions of us or expectations. And depression is a result of the effort to maintain and protect the false self. Over the years, we have adjusted and maintained and honed this false image of self, placed it in the core of us, and we work hard to try to achieve something that is just not us. And over time, it wears us down. It leaves us feeling empty, unfulfilled, and can lead to pretty severe depression, a lack of self-love, because we can't love that. It's not us. And yet we are told again and again, and we even tell ourselves, we enroll ourselves that this is what we should be. And yet it's false. It doesn't feel right, and we can't do it. I imagine this might sound a little familiar. And that dissonance, that distortion, the shadow self isn't comfortable or happy there either, because it knows that it's all false. It's our imagination. It's imagined by us. And if you take my class on inspiration and creativity, you'll know that part of what humans have as a superpower is the ability to bring imagined things into existence, that even within us, it almost has a life of its own. And it knows something is wrong. And what most people do when this dissonance is happening is we stop looking at that shadow self. We turn around, we face the outer world, and we defend that vision of us as if our lives depended on it. We protect it. Don't tell me that I need to change. Don't tell me that I'm the problem, because if that were true, then all of this is going to fall apart. So it becomes a desperation within us to protect the vision of ourselves that was never ours to begin with. But it doesn't have to be that way, obviously. Something else can be there. Something else can be on this altar of self. And at the core of a journey to healing and wholeness is our ability to take down the shadow self, dismantle it, obliterate it, love it, and release it, however it needs to be. And often it's all of those things. Till eventually we can clear that space, we can step onto that altar, and we can be the highest version of ourselves. So as promised, in the title of this presentation, we're going to be talking about keys to peace and joy. So here are the keys that would allow you to accomplish this. 3 keys to peace and joy. Number 1, prayer. Prayer is direct communication with the realm of spirit, the divine, and the universe, whatever you want to call that external source of everything, the thing that is larger than us, that we come from and return to. Communicating with that, creating a relationship with that is very important. So that communication can include gratitude, just being grateful for the things that we have, the things that we've done, the things we've experienced that have helped us grow, our ability to heal, the faculties we have to love others, to experience life. We can communicate about our desires, to put out into spirit, into divine, communicate with God, the universe, what we would like to do more of, where we're going. And then a commitment to purpose or devotion to purpose. I recommit to unveiling my real self and accomplishing my purpose, despite the forces in the world that may distract me. So this can be done with your own words spontaneously. It doesn't need to be formulaic words. It can be pre-written prayers that you love and feel right to you, as long as they resonate and feel real. There's a lot of ways to do this. So I'm just giving you examples, but the important thing is having the relationship with the greater, the things beyond us, and using that relationship to request and receive support from higher beings and energies, non-physical forces that exist in this universe. Key number 2 is ritual. Ritual consists of words, movement, imagination. These are repeatable ceremonies or activities that work to hone your own mind, to impact the energy of the spaces around you, to create sacred space within and create sacred space outside of you in the world that you inhabit. It is by will alone I set my mind in motion. It is taking that will, creating a form, the form being words, movement, and imagination, projecting ourselves through that form, exerting our will into that form, and repeating it in order to lay the foundation, to create a template for a different way of inhabiting our own mind, inhabiting our body, and inhabiting our environment. Most often our homes, the places that we frequent. So these are tools of words, body movements, and imagination to impact ourselves and impact the world based on our intent and our will. And number 3 is meditation. And specifically, what we're going to be doing today in just a moment is something called the Max Meditation System. The Max Meditation System was developed by the founder of the Modern Mystery School, founder Gudni Gudnason, after he had experienced meditation through many other systems and practices. And what he came to was this pattern of relaxation, passive meditation, active meditation, guided visualization, and soothing down or returning to normal consciousness. And that this pattern can be easily repeated. It can be led and guided by someone else for you to passively experience, or it can be something you can do for yourself. Once you know the pattern and you've experienced it a few times, you can make it your own practice. In our system, we recommend doing this about an hour at a time. We don't have time to do that today. We're going to just try a few minutes of this, but we're going to go through the full process. And what we're doing is we're quieting the lower mind, which is the mind that's the most active and agitated and is processing and dealing with, what did I just do? What am I doing now? What do I have to do next? I'm going to quiet that mind down to silence so we can access the higher mind. Let's try it. And we're listening to a group called Entheo. This is from their album Lucid Surrender, if you like this music. We're going to start by relaxing our body slowly in one part at a time. I'm going to offer instructions, and I'm going to ask you with your mic muted to repeat out loud so you can hear yourself saying the following words, and I'll give you an example before we begin. Feet relax. So I will say that, and then you just repeat this to yourself so you can help your own body relax through your own words. And before we start, please make sure you're sitting comfortably, ideally with your spine straight and upright. It's best to be sitting in a chair, feet flat on the floor, with your palms up and open, ready to receive. But whatever is comfortable for you and your body is most important. Typically not recommended that you lay down unless that's the only way you can be comfortable. And we'll begin. Please repeat after me. Starting with 3 deep breaths, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhaling again through your nose and out through your mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Continuing to breathe deeply in through the nose and out through the mouth as you repeat the following words after me. Feet relax. Feet relax. Feet relax. Legs relax. Legs relax. Legs relax. Knees relax. Knees relax. Knees relax. Hips relax. Hips relax. Hips relax. Lower back relax. Lower back relax. Lower back relax. Belly relax. Belly relax. belly relax. Upper back relax. Upper back relax. Upper back relax. Chest relax. Chest relax. Chest relax. Shoulders relax. Shoulders relax. Shoulders relax. Arms relax. Arms relax. Arms relax. Hands relax. Hands relax. Hands relax. Head relax. Head relax. Head relax. Now imagine yourself in the most relaxed state that you have ever been in. Now begin to observe your own mind. Observe while remaining detached from what's happening. Seeing thoughts, allowing them to arise. Become aware of them. And as you become aware of your thoughts become water. Each thought as it arises liquefies, turns to water. As you continue observing your mind and all of its thoughts, each thought is observed and turns to water. Each thought liquefied, pooling into a pool. And this pool gets larger as each thought, as it becomes water, joins the pool until it begins to flow. The water turns to a stream and then into a river flowing out of your mind. As more thoughts arise, you simply observe, watch each thought turn into water and join the river flowing out of your mind. The river grows, flowing fast and furious, drawing all thoughts out of your mind. And slowly, your mind begins to empty. All of your thoughts are now in the river, flowing out, And with the empty mind, you can now follow the river floating above it, following the river as it widens, begins to slow down, and becomes a silent and infinite ocean. As we take a few minutes to just experience the silent mind, if thoughts continue to arise, no need to worry, just observe them, allow them to liquefy, allow them to join the river and follow the river back here to the infinite silent ocean. Now imagine yourself as a rock in the center of the infinite universe. Once you are the rock, follow me by repeating this sacred word out loud: peace. Repeating after me: peace. 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 Continue repeating the word quieter and quieter. Peace. 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 Now swallow that word, bringing it inside, continuing to repeat it now only in your mind. Peace. Peace is a word of action, an action of balance expressing itself without resistance through a quiet mind. Peace is not a response, but a call to remember. Peace is a journey and follows us as we weave our life. It precedes each step. It remains always here and now. Through awareness, we perceive activities in the world around us, and we assign meaning. We decide if we experience harmony. However, peace, decided before anything happens, that all is one and all is according to the laws of the universe. Peace finds strength in obedience to the higher laws and aligns itself with the expression of the highest form and force, the subtle truth of vibration. Peace witnesses and allows and imparts the wisdom of acting without acting, observing without seeing. And in peace, we are at home wherever we find ourselves. Now imagine your body, and at the core is a fountain of peace, a warm upwelling of peace and healing and harmony begins to bubble up within you, filling you up with a refreshing peace, energizing you and calming you at the same time. Imagine your body filling up with this source of peace until it begins to come out through your crown, the top of your head, filling out and filling the world around you. And through your heart, this peace flows to the people that you care about, to the people that sustain your world and your life around you, healing these relationships, warming our feelings of love and connection, reminding us that we are one, and any friction can be overcome by love and peace. Now we'll begin the process of returning to your body. Start by wiggling your toes and fingers, moving your hands and feet, your legs, your hips, your spine, your neck, bringing all of that beautiful peace with you into this moment, into this room where you are, returning to normal consciousness. Welcome back. Now that was a very short version of the Max Meditation system. It's ideally normally 45 minutes to an hour long. It can be longer. The longer version allows you to really experience each step fully and deeply, and become more familiar and build that relationship with your inner world. So where did this come from? Where does all this information I've been discussing today come from? It comes from the lineage of King Solomon, as I mentioned earlier. So King Solomon is a character you may know from the Bible or the Torah. He's written about in the Book of Kings. He is the son of King David. David fought Goliath with a sling, whereas Solomon brought many tribes together with the vision of helping each of us to find our own truth, to live as divine beings with physical bodies, to fully realize human potential. He was known as Solomon the Wise, and according to our oral tradition, he brought together healers and wise people from every tribe he could communicate with to come together to share what worked best for each of us, to find a universal system that would help all humans to achieve our potential. And then created a system for passing that down to future generations. So the information in this system is much older than Solomon's time, but what Solomon did was organize it into a system that we could develop, that could evolve along with humanity and continue to help us to achieve self-mastery. And this system still exists today. This is that same system that I was introduced to in 2003. So I've now been a student, a teacher, a guide in this system for 20 years. And it is the only system that has helped me to achieve my original vision of mastering myself and bringing as many people with me as I can. It's the only system that's really helped me to accomplish that like no other. And the beauty of it is that this universal system that Solomon developed really does work worldwide, regardless of culture, language, background, beliefs. And it works based on the same ideas that modern science is based on. And the main difference is that in this system, we test, we try. The goal is not belief. The goal is experience, but the feedback comes from within instead of a scientist does an experiment to measure the result in the external world. In fact, Sir Isaac Newton and many of the founders of modern science were trained in this system. So there's a reason those things are similar. The Modern Mystery School offers a path of progression for advanced spiritual training, and it always begins with a life activation, which comes from Solomon's time. It's a one-on-one session to reawaken your inner code, your physical DNA, as well as your spiritual DNA, your spiritual code that connects you with your higher self. So that's always where we begin. Then there is initiation, if that's something that someone chooses, which is bestowing the knowledge, the tools, and the authority to use those knowledge and tools and the energy of the lineage, which has been passed down through oral tradition for thousands of years. So that process of receiving what comes from this tradition is called initiation. That once that has been completed, then we begin our process of learning how to use these tools to serve others. So we begin with serving ourselves, and then we take these tools and help others to achieve similar ends. all with the goal of achieving world peace. And the only way world peace can be achieved is by first achieving peace within. So I am a peace activist, and my method for aiming us all towards world peace is sitting across from someone like you, one-on-one, and helping you to achieve peace. And with each person I connect with, I get closer to that goal. And some of the people that I connect with find that their mission and purpose is similarly aligned and can engage in all the same things that I do. So all of the tools within the Mystery School are available to those who apply them and pursue them, but it is not a requirement that one must continue once they start. So each step in this progressive path is optional and is something that can be pursued, but you can also take a life activation and go on your merry way with the benefits of what that service can provide. If you want to get a hold of me or my wife at our center, you can call or text 206-538-0070 or check out our website, blessoterra.center. And we also have an online community where you can interact with us, you can interact with other people interested in pursuing these tools, applying these tools in their lives at inspire.blessoterra.center. And with that, we are complete. Thank you so much for attending today. And I hope that you got a little bit of peace and joy from experiencing your own inner world today. And I do hope that we can connect again soon and I can help you to further expand on your capacity for peace and joy.